With us now, Senator Joe Lieberman of Connecticut. You just heard the White House top advisor on such things saying that it is likely that both the House and Senate will finally come up with some kind of health care bill that has some sort of public option in it. What's your take?
I hope not. In other words, I'm all for health care reform. We have a system that needs fixing, but we've got some more urgent problems than that. And the first, most urgent, is to fix our economy, to get it creating jobs again. And I think that a public option will actually hurt the economic recovery and our long-term fiscal situation, because it will end up causing the government to raise taxes, will probably raise premiums, or it will put us further into debt. You know, the public option came out of nowhere. If you look at last year's presidential campaign, Bob, no mention of it. The goal has always been two goals. One is make health insurance more affordable, and two, extend it to people who don't have it now. The public option, I think, was raised in the last year by people who really want to have a government-controlled health insurance system. That's their right. I think they're wrong. But it's not necessary, as President Obama has said over and over again, to achieve the goals that he has. So I hope it's not in there at the end.
Well, you caught the attention of a lot of people last week when you said that, yes, you might vote to allow the bill to come to the Senate floor with the public option in it, but that you might join the Republicans in filibustering it if it came to that, to keep it from including a public option in the final version. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'm not going to filibuster to stop the debate on health care reform from beginning, because I want to have that debate. I want to have health care reform. I want to be able to say yes. There's so many good things we can do to make health insurance more affordable and to extend it to people who don't have it now. But I feel so strongly about the creation of another government health insurance entitlement, the government going into the health insurance business. I think it's such a mistake that I would use the power I have as a single senator to stop a final vote.
But wouldn't that mean that you might wind up with nothing instead of something?
Yeah, but I'd say to the people who are all of a sudden making the public option, a government health insurance company, the litmus test here, they're stopping us from getting something done. This is classic Washington today, Bob. There is broad bipartisan support for healthcare delivery reforms, for pushing the insurance companies, for instance, to give insurance to people who have pre-existing illness, no cap on lifetime benefits, for extending health insurance to people who don't have it. All of a sudden, if you're not for this government health insurance company, you're against health care reform. I'd say to them, don't stop us from getting something important and good done for the American people.
But is what you're also saying is that nothing is better than a government health insurance, or a health insurance reform that includes a public option? Nothing is better than that.
Well, the truth is that nothing is better than that, because I think we ought to follow, if I may, the doctor's oath here in Congress as we deal with health care reform. Do no harm. And I'm afraid, listen, amazingly, nobody's talked about it. The Congressional Budget Office said on Thursday, when the House Democrats put out their health care reform plan with a public option in it, that the public plan would end up charging higher premiums than the average premiums charged by the commercial health insurance companies. Now, why would we want to do that? Why would we? The Congressional Budget Office has also said, if the government creates a public plan, the public is going to be on the line. When it runs a deficit, as it surely will, the public, the taxpayers, will have to pay for it.
I'm going to ask you this question because I want to give you a chance to respond to it. Some of your critics say that the reason that you are so dead set against the public option is because there are so many insurance companies headquartered in your home state in Connecticut, and they've been some of your biggest supporters. What have they given you this year? $400,000, something like that? Does that have anything to do with your position on the public option?
No. I wish people would come out and debate me on the public option instead of questioning my motives. If they looked at the record, I have never hesitated to get tough on insurance companies when I thought they were wrong. When I was Attorney General of Connecticut, I filed an antitrust action against the Connecticut insurance companies. A few years ago, when there was a patient bill of rights in the Senate, which the insurance companies opposed, I supported it. Right now, I've said that I will support the removal of the antitrust exemption that insurance companies have. That's not the reason, but I will say this recommendation of a public option, a government health insurance company, takes our government down a road that we've never gone down before. In other words, we believe in a market economy. It's what's created the great American middle class, but it doesn't have a conscience. When it behaves badly, we regulate it, companies, we sue them. I've been angry at oil companies. I never had the idea that the government should go into the oil business to make oil companies behave better. I think this would be a terrible mistake.
Let me ask you quickly about Afghanistan.
Sure.
You are one of those who say we need to send 40,000 troops now, because that's what General McChrystal has told the president that we need. And yet we see this mess that's developed now where now they are not going to have the runoff election. Well, they'll have the runoff election, but even the person who was in the runoff says it's so fraudulent and it's so corrupt there's no use to even have it. What have we gotten ourselves hooked up to here with this Karzai government?
Yeah, we've really got to keep our eye on the ball here. And David Axelrod said it well in the previous interview. We're in Afghanistan to stop the Taliban and Al-Qaeda from coming back into control there, because if they do, it will be a base from which they can attack us again as they did on 9/11. It will destabilize Pakistan and the whole region. Everyone knows the Karzai government can be improved, but look, Hamid Karzai is going to be the next president of Afghanistan. He's played this according to the constitutional and the rules of law in Afghanistan. He got 48% of the vote even after the fraudulent votes were eliminated. I think it's time for us to stop beating up on President Karzai and start building up President Karzai and his government to be the government we need, because they're not the enemy. The enemy is the Taliban. Our troops need reinforcements. General McChrystal has said that. We lost more American soldiers in the last month than in any month previously in the year. It's time to send help.
I need to ask you about Rush Limbaugh, because after all, as an independent Democrat, you supported John McCain last time out. What about these remarks that Rush Limbaugh made this morning?
Well, I just totally disagree with them. I mean, on the question of President Obama going to Dover to be there to honor the American heroes whose bodies were returning, I think he was there as Commander-in-Chief for all Americans, and I don't fault him or question his motives at all. I was proud that my president was there.